Hello, everyone, and welcome to Reboot TV. Tonight on Tuesday Talks Live, we have an amazing special guest with us this evening. Say hello to Ms. Tracy Sider. Hello, Tracy.
Hi,
How are
everybody.
you?
Hi, I'm good. I'm very, very happy because it's summer in Toronto. It's our 12 days of summer. I'm making the most of it.
Oh, fantastic. Well, tonight we're going to be talking about how your posture could be stopping you from slimming down, toning up, and feeling pain-free. Tracy is an audacious aging coach and host of the Peri and Menopause Movement Club Facebook group and creator of the online Reshape Method program. Now, Tracy and I met through a business association, had so much in common, so much of what my Reboot, her Reshape does, coordinate so beautifully together, so many aspects of mindfulness, all kinds of things that we do, because we believe it isn't one thing, that there is a very bigger picture of what works to make you well. It takes not just one thing, but many things together. And that our programs very much complement each other. Where I touch on movement, but focus more on the other things, she focuses more on movement, touches, includes all those other things. And people entered the waiting room. I want to view the waiting room. There, I have to keep track of letting people in as well here. And when we started working together, like, there's a lot of trade-off that we could be doing on all of this. How would you like to come on my group and talk to my ladies and the people who follow me, and you can let your folks know, and we'll do a workshop and kind of hands-on show people what you do, because nothing's better than saying, stand up, let's move, here's what I do. So Tracy is on a mission to help women over 45 to lose the body aches, get the silhouette they love, and age with audacious confidence and strength without doing endless cardio, feeling guilty about skipping workouts, or having your massage therapist on speed dial. So I love that. After overcoming her own figure change, which she will talk to us about, she had confidence issues and aches and pains in her mid-40s. Tracy is passionate about showing women that they do not have to accept a new normal as they age that is anything less than wonderful. She teaches simple yet powerful biomechanics-based exercises that get you working out smarter, not harder. Sounds familiar with our functional fitness, right, ladies? And which create fabulous figure shaping and pain relieving results. The best part is that Tracy teaches you how to integrate these movements into your life so you can get the benefits when you're standing, sitting, working, or just walking around. So Tracy, I am so excited to have you here. Take it away, girlfriend.
Pilar, thank you. Thank you. I am absolutely thrilled to be here and absolutely thrilled to be speaking to your wonderful Reshape. Oh, sorry, your Reboot community.
Reboot.
I love that the names of our programs
are
so
we do that
synergistic.
all the time.
You're about the Reboot. I'm about the Reshape, because that just implies that it's this work that's happening from the inside out, right? It's not a quick fix. What we do is not a quick fix. And I love that your ladies are taking charge of their health, that they are doing what it takes with you to look and feel amazing. It must feel like so incredible to have your health markers in check and to be losing the weight and to just start feeling healthy again. And so I want to say well done and congratulations to all of you for doing that. And I'm sure Sheila is the most incredible coach taking you through that journey. But what I'm going to be speaking to you a little bit about today is that's part of the journey, right? That once you've lost the weight, you may still find that you have aches and pains, that those aches and pains, while certainly maybe mitigating once you're reaching your goal weight, you may find that they're still lingering or that you're still moving like you did when you were heavier. So I'm going to explain to you why, first of all, that is completely normal and why it's happening and what you can do about it, okay? But I promise what I am going to be speaking about today, it is not the same old, same old. I am not going to be telling you exercise more, do strength training, all these things that, in fact, that I'm going to be sharing with you some new information today that you've possibly never heard of before. I'm so confident of this that if you stay till the end and you've learned absolutely nothing new, just message me on Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn or email me, and I will send you a Starbucks coffee card for wasting your time. So let me know if you are going to stick with me till the end of this presentation, because what I have to tell you all fits together. And if you learn nothing new, let me know, and coffee is on me. Okay, so let's dive in. I am going to share my screen. Right, so I'm going to speak to you today about how your posture could be stopping you from slimming down, toning up, and feeling pain-free. Or to put it another way, you are here because you want to learn how to look better, feel better, and age audaciously without doing endless cardio, feeling guilty about skipping workouts, and without having your massage therapist on speed dial. Now, I say audaciously, to age audaciously, because what I offer my clients is the missing knowledge to age boldly, gracefully, disrupting the expectation that it's all down here from that it's all downhill from here, or that aging anti-frail is only for the lucky few. For me, aging audaciously means aging boldly, strong, independent, being mobile, free of aches and pains, of creaky joints, of sleepless nights because your hip or shoulder or bladder keep waking you up. For me, audacious aging is about being free of worrying about things like osteoporosis or hip replacements or osteoarthritis or having to use a walker, and feeling like my world is shrinking. For me, sadly, anti-aging and aging anti-frail is not aging like my dear late mom. And I'd love to know, let me know in the chat box what aging audaciously is for you. Because you see, for me and for the hundreds of women in my Reshape Method program, we are proof that it is possible to age without aches and pains, looking and feeling and moving youthfully, okay? Not young. This is not an approach about being young. I don't know about you, but I do not want to be young and stupid again, but I do want to feel and move youthfully into my 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, okay? It's knowing that you are doing all the right things to age well with audacious confidence and strength. Sheila says it's about aging with options that are authentic to me for a lifetime. Absolutely. I love that. I love that. Because what I'm going to share with you today are the best kept secrets when it comes to taking charge of your new but aging body, your new beautiful body that you and health that you've built with Sheila. But we're all aging, right? We're all going in one direction, and we need to do what it takes to make that journey into our third age as audacious and mobile and take charge as possible. You see, we all know we need exercise, all right? We all know that exercise is good for us. And I know that Sheila gets you all up and moving quite early in her program, which is fantastic. And we all want the benefits of exercise, the benefits that exercise gives us, which are things like weight loss. There are many, many benefits, right? Weight loss, maintaining weight, improved cardiovascular health, and other health benefits, right? Mitigating certain cancers, diabetes, osteoporosis. Exercise gives us better shape, better mood, and brain health. Except by the time you reach 40 plus, you may notice that you're possibly not getting the results and benefits of exercise that you used to get when you were younger. You may be doing yoga, Pilates, swimming, treadmill, strength training, walking, and just not seeing much difference for the amount of time that you're putting in. Or you may hate sweaty exercise and find that it makes your aches and pains even worse. Or you may have gotten injury from trying out that strength training routine, or exacerbating bladder leaking or hip pain when you go to a yoga class. Or you may be thinking that you should do more exercise, thinking that you aren't getting the results you want because you aren't doing enough, okay? But you just don't have the time or motivation to do any more. Or maybe you've given up exercising altogether because you are confused and overwhelmed with all the contradictory information out there and you don't know where to start. Maybe you've just thrown in the towel because nothing is working for you long-term anyway. Well, You'll be pleased to hear that I am not here to tell you that you need to exercise more, okay? There ain't no Jillian Michaels in me. I am not going to be shouting at you. I am going to tell you, I'm not going to be telling you that this Pilates class is better than that yoga class, or that you should be reaching a specific heart rate for so many minutes, or that walking X number of steps or swimming so many laps a week is what you should be aiming for, okay? Nope, I am not going to be telling you anything like that. I'm here to tell you that women at our age and stage need a different approach, because what worked when we were younger and what works for men does not work for women over 40. In fact, I'm here to tell you that there is a critical missing foundational step that we all need to do before we go to the gym or the yoga class or Pilates or weight train or even walk, okay? And this missing step is especially important if you've spent any time at school or university or working a desk job or any other job that involves sitting. Because if we do not take the time and give ourselves the grace and space to address this missing piece, then all your exercise is essentially wasting your time. Okay, now don't get me wrong. Any movement is, of course, better than no movement, but it's easy to get disheartened with your personal trainer or yoga teacher when you've been going to sessions or classes for ages and seeing no changes. Okay, I don't know about you, but I am super busy. And when I do take the time to exercise, I want to make sure that I am getting as much bang for my exercise buck as I can. Plus, when you're able to do what I'm going to show you today, you will get so much more benefit from the exercise you love. Also, I don't want to be doing anything that could injure me or make my aches and pains worse, okay? But this was the case for me. This was my reality for many, many years. And I had to find this out. I had to find the solution all the hard way. You see, there are three crucial strategies to getting slimmer, stronger, and pain-free as we age. And these strategies are pretty much overlooked and ignored by the fitness industry. And they are these three things. Number one, alignment. More. Now, by alignment, I'm talking about our skeleton. I'm talking about our biomechanics. You can see the basis of our body is the skeleton, and we ignore it at our peril. The second thing, and number three, we need to move more, not just more. You know, we say, oh, you need to move. We need to move way more. Okay, we need to move more than you even think you need to move. All right, and that can be a little bit overwhelming. So stay with me. Moving more is different and much easier to do than exercising more. They're two completely different things, so don't freak out. And this is what I call movement multitasking, which I weave into my Reshape Method program. But what I'm really going to focus on today is alignment, because once you get that, once you get what I mean by alignment and the importance of that, the other two strategies are easy to integrate into your body and into your life. And if you're interested in learning more, I speak a lot about moving well and movement multitasking on my YouTube channel, which is Tracy Sider Coaching, or in my Facebook group, which is the Peri and Menopause Movement Club. And Sheila will be giving you the links to all those, I'm sure. But alignment is the key. It is the starting point of all the change that you are wanting. Because you see, despite all the exercise and walking and swimming you've done or haven't done, by the time you hit your 40s, your skeleton is out of alignment. Okay, if you're not sure what I mean, then just stay with me. I'm going to first explain what causes us to get out of alignment. And then towards the end of our presentation today, we are going to workshop together and explore the alignment point so that you can see exactly what I mean and what it looks like and feels like in your body. So back to alignment and the significance of alignment. You see, because you are most probably out of alignment, and if you are a modern human being living a modern lifestyle, there's no escaping that. The body that you bring to the mat or the walk or the run or the swim is misshapen from a biomechanical perspective. This means that when you move, you are not moving optimally or the way your body was designed and involved and intended to move. Instead, you land up using all sorts of movement cheats and compensations to get the exercise done, because the body is amazing that way. It will get things done. Okay. After all, you're still a functioning adult. Okay. Your body's done a great job at getting you to where you are today. So well done. But there is a difference between minimum function and optimum function. And when it comes to slimming down and toning up and feeling pain-free and aging audaciously, the secret is to unlock maximum optimum function. Okay, you with me? Let me know in the chat. Okay, give me a 1 if you're with me in the chat. Because when you do the same thing, when you move the same way, stand the same way, walk the same way, when you keep exercising and moving in the same way, you keep recreating the same shape, which means you reinforce your pain and other issues. So if you intuitively feel that there is a missing piece in your wellness, health, aging, and fitness journey, and if you want to be able to work, play, travel, and age without a body that's sore and achy, if you feel you're doing all the things, you're exercising, eating clean, meditating, walking, but you still can't get the shape you want, you're still battling with nagging aches and pains, maybe even bladder leaking too, or maybe you've just given up trying, you don't know what else to do or what else to try, then you are definitely in the right place, because I am going to share with you some really important information that you are just not being told. Okay, not by your yoga teacher and not by your personal trainer. And I know this because I was the yoga teacher and I was the personal trainer and I couldn't even help myself. All right. So bear in mind, though, that we have limited time today and I still want to do a little bit of workshopping towards the end. So what I'm sharing with you is really just the tip of the iceberg. As I said, you are welcome to join my Facebook group or hop onto my YouTube channel to learn more. But before we go any further, let me properly introduce myself and tell you a bit about how I became an accidental movement coach, because my story or part of my story may resonate with you. So I'm Tracy Sider, founder of the 12-week Reshape Method online program and host of the Peri and Menopause Movement Club, Reshaping Your Body and Health Facebook group. I am a perimenopause movement and posture specialist, or as I like to call myself, an audacious aging coach. I'm a certified personal trainer, yoga teacher, and nutrition coach with over 10 years experience working in the wellness field. My different approach to movement and aging has helped and influenced thousands of women around the world. I have specialist certifications in core and pelvic floor corrective exercise, strength training, mindfulness, as well as perimenopause and menopause movement and wellness. But the certification I am most proud of, and which I spend many hours each year keeping current, is my restorative exercise specialist certification in alignment and corrective exercise with leading US biomechanist Katie Bowman. And it's Katie's pioneering work that initially inspired me to step out of the conventional exercise box, and I have never looked back. A little bit more about me. I am pain-free, slimmer, and stronger at 52 than I was 10 years ago. I can even swing from the monkey bars at the park, something I couldn't even do as a kid, okay? Am I special? No. Do I have a special and simple approach? Heck yes. Another thing about me is that I ran my own successful editing company for over 20 years before retraining and switching careers to teach better movement and better aging full time. Now, being a movement coach was never on my radar, but necessity is the mother of invention, right? So since no one could help me when I was struggling, I had to search for solution and retrain in order to help myself. And now I get to share all of this with you, where you get the fast track to feeling fabulous. You see, in my early and mid 40s, I was struggling with my own figure change, confidence issues, and nagging aches and pains. Even though I exercised regularly, taught yoga part-time, I've been doing yoga since I was 15, my whole body ached. I had hip pain, back pain, foot pain, neck pain, shoulder pain. If it wasn't one thing, it was another. And I spent hundreds of dollars each month on what I call my health practitioner carousel. You know, that endless series of physical therapy, massage, chiropractics, acupuncture. I tried everything, okay? My therapists were all amazing, okay? And I would feel good for a day or two, and then everything would just come right back. And I was forever on the search for the perfect office chair or the perfect mattress, because it had to be that. Okay, you know what I mean? I think at one point I was buying a new office chair every few months, convinced that if I just had the right ergonomic setup, everything would be fine. Okay, and the shoes, don't get me started on the shoes and the podiatrist and the orthotics. Okay, nothing helped. And if it did help, it didn't help for long. So let me know in the chat if you experience anything similar, if you've also found that you're just searching and searching and trying and just not getting any resolution. Nothing helped. And if it didn't help for long, I mean, sorry, nothing helped. And if it did, it didn't help for long. Yeah, Christina's saying, yes, that's me right now. I hear you, sister. And then there was the shape change. Okay, I was exercising the same, eating the same, sometimes even exercising more and eating less, but my clothes kept getting tighter and I just couldn't seem to tone up, right? Even though I was doing all this elliptical trainer, treadmill, boot camp. I mean, for the amount of time and energy and sweat I was putting in, and I am not a fan of sweating or exercising for that matter, I was just not seeing the result. And I was getting increasingly dejected and frustrated and dreaded the thought of growing older, frail in this body that was sore and that just couldn't keep up with my energetic husband and daughters. Oh, and then came the bladder leak, like out of nowhere. And that was the cherry on top of my midlife misery. It was all just a mystery to me because I was trying everything, but nothing was helping. But I refused to believe, as I was being told, that this was just all part of aging and that I should suck it up. And I refused to believe that this was as good as it gets and that it was actually going to be downhill from here, because I was sure I was missing something. Okay, I had no idea what that was, but I knew I'd recognize it when I saw it. So I just kept researching and trying new things. And that's how I found the work of US-based biomechanist and author Katie Bowman. And I bought her book, Move Your DNA, and the rest, as they say, is history. Okay, because this was what I needed that I didn't even know existed. Katie's whole body science-based natural movement approach changed everything for me. And I had to share this knowledge with others who I knew were struggling too. So I trained and certified with Katie in 2017, closed my editing business, and have been sharing the love and teaching the secrets of better movement and better aging ever since. So the first thing I realized when I started studying biomechanics was that everything my mother and ballet teacher had told me about good posture was completely wrong from a biomechanical perspective. And it was these very posture cues, which I was still holding on to, thinking I was doing something good for my body, that were actually making my issues worse. And that's because we first need to understand the critical difference between the terms posture and alignment. These two terms are often used interchangeably, but from a biomechanical perspective, they actually mean two very different things. And these two things make all the difference. All right, so let me know in the chat, were you ever told to stand straight, stop slouching? No, when you were going on, stand straight, chest up, shoulders back, belly in. All right, can't tell you how many times I heard that. And do you actually do that, or do you think that you should be doing that throughout the day? Or even worse, is that something you're telling your kids? Carla says, yep. The problem is that these are posture cues, and posture is the way your body looks. So you may have improved the way you look and gone from slouching to stooped over, right? We've decided stooped over doesn't look good. So now you've made this change to standing up straight, which we've decided looks better. Importantly, though, you've probably done this posture change by rearranging your body parts, by lifting your chest, pulling your shoulders back. However, what you did with your body to achieve this better posture may have actually messed with your alignment, because alignment is the way your body works. So in this example, right, we've got an example of a woman here, which, you know, from a like conventional understanding, we would say on the left here, she's got bad posture, bad alignment. She's fixed her posture. She's lifted her chest. She's pulled her shoulders back. She looks better. Her tummy looks flatter. But while she has good posture, she's messed up her alignment. And I'll tell you what I mean by that in a second, right? She's lifted her spine. Her spine has gone from rounded to super straight. It's actually gone too straight. And this has added a ton of tension through her back over here, causing her vertebra to shear. It's messed up with her breathing mechanics because her ribs are now being thrust forward. And we should be having a lot of movement through our back ribs when we breathe, all right? But her whole breathing mechanics is turned off because her back ribs can't move. Plus, by lifting up her chest like this to make her back look straight and to look less stooped, she's actually turned off her entire core system. It cannot fire the way it's meant to be fired anymore because those muscles are now being pulled too long, all right? So although she looks better, her body is not actually working better. So Houston, we have a problem. So if your goal is to look and feel great as you age, you should be aiming for good posture because you have good alignment, not good posture at the expense of good alignment. Okay, let me say that again. Really, really important message. This is the take-home message from my entire talk to you today. You want good posture because you have good alignment, not good posture at the expense of good alignment. And here's an example of what I mean. What is good alignment? It's the skeleton. We'll go into that in a minute. And here is an example of a woman who has good posture and good alignment. So compare this lady over here to this lady over here. It's a subtle difference, but we're going to be going over how it feels in your body, all right? Because that's where it really, really counts. But just keep this image in your mind of this lady who is well stacked up, just like the skeleton. So now, why is good alignment so important? Good alignment is important because our bodies are not an arbitrary arrangement of muscles and bones. Our skeleton works on the basis at one level of a mechanical pulley and lever system. And just like all mechanical systems, the various parts of the system need to be in specific places in order for the system as a whole to work at its best. So when we're out of alignment, some parts become overused, okay, think tight muscles. Some parts become underused, think weak muscles, and other parts rub up against each other, causing wear and tear, all right, think pain and inflammation. So just like the wheels of a car need to be properly aligned for optimal performance and to minimize wear and tear, so do the various parts of your body need to be positioned well in order for your body to work best. I mean, I don't know anyone who takes their car to the mechanic and the mechanic says, oh, you know, there's a problem with your wheel alignment. Do you want me to work on it? Like, nobody's going to say, no, it's fine. I don't mind if I get like wear and tear on those expensive wheels, you know, and those expensive tires. I don't mind if my car is like pulling off to the side. No, we understand why it's necessary for that wheel alignment to be fixed, okay? But that whole mechanical aspect when it comes to our bodies is just not something we're aware of. You see, when your alignment is optimal or good, your bones, which are the foundational structure of your body, line up well and as intended, right? According to factory specifications. And when your bones line up well, your joints work well, your muscles, which are attached to your bones, can strengthen and do what they are meant to do. And this means you get better strength and flexibility from your exercise. You get better weight management because more muscle means a faster resting metabolism. You get fewer aches and pains, and you get better shape and tone as you go about your day, right? Really, sincerely, just walking or standing become strength building activities when your body is aligning well and moving well. And that, in my books, is audacious aging. So what then is good or optimal alignment? From a biomechanical perspective, optimal alignment is what is called anatomical neutral. In other words, the general positioning of your bones should resemble the skeleton in your doctor's office. For most of us, though, by the time we hit our 40s, our normal alignment is nothing like neutral or optimal alignment. And this could be the underlying and missing reason why you are still struggling with the nagging aches and pains, why you are battling to get strong and toned no matter how much exercise you do, and why you land up with injuries and setbacks when you do try to exercise or lift weights, which we're told that we need to do as we age. And yes, we absolutely need to be strength training as we age. That is critical. But before we do this, all right, before we do this, if we don't first fix our alignment before we start strength training, then it's like playing a game of Jenga. All right. Let me know if any of you playing Jenga. It's like if you start adding extra load to a structure that is intrinsically misaligned, things are eventually going to come toppling down. So what do we need to do? The first thing we need to do is understand what the problem really is. And if there's even a problem at all, okay, who knows? Your alignment may be perfect. So we do this by measuring our baseline or getting on what I call the objective alignment grid. In other words, we are going to compare our alignment markers, our normal alignment, to the skeleton's markers, which are neutral. And that way you're going to be able to get a true objective measurement and a good understanding of how and where your current alignment compares or contrasts to normal and optimal alignment. And we're going to do this in a few minutes using my posture and alignment quiz, where you are going to rate your alignment on 3 of the 5 most important alignment points that I cover in my Reshape Method program. Before we do that, though, you should know that getting on this objective alignment grid can be quite a revealing exercise. I know I was quite shocked and a bit disappointed when I first scored my alignment, all right? It was shocking because I thought I'd been doing everything right. Even though I was sitting at my desk 4 hours a day, I still exercised regularly. But of course, the true extent of my misalignment made total sense given all the issues that I was having, right? So just to be clear, the score has nothing to do with how fit or strong or athletic you are. In fact, I have women in the Reshape Method who take part in triathlons, who have been doing Pilates 3 times a week for the past 10 years, and they still score low on the objective alignment grid. So please don't think that your score is bad or wrong. It's just information, but it's crucial information, and perhaps information that you had no idea of up until now. And it's crucial information because this is actually the key to aging well. This is the missing piece that has been eluding you for so long. You're out of alignment. It's as simple as that, all right? That's the bad news. The good news is that the solution to fixing your aches and pains and getting the silhouette you love is just as simple. The solution is to just get back into optimal alignment. Okay, simple, yes. Easy, not so much, because actually changing and fixing our alignment requires specific steps and corrective exercises and lifestyle tweaks. You can't just pull and tug your body to create the change we're after. And wearing those ridiculous posture devices that I see advertised all the time, or having something on your spine that beeps every time you slouch, is not going to make a difference, all right? And I wish Facebook would just, I talk about these posture devices a lot. So of course, you know, the ubiquitous Facebook keeps sending me these annoying adverts for all these different kind of posture devices. They are a complete waste of time and money because, as I said, all those devices are doing for you is arranging your body parts. All right. It's just changing your posture. It's not changing how your body works. It's just changing how your body looks. All right. And what we are after is change at the most basic foundational cellular and mechanical level of the body. Once you take those devices off, you just fall back into your old alignment because nothing has really changed to hold you in a better position. Because what you need is active change. You need active shaping from the inside out. And that requires a more subtle and specialized approach. It also requires that you do the work, all right? Which is why it's not really something that your chiropractor or physical therapist or massage therapist can help you with, you know, going to a couple of appointments every couple of months. You see, the reason why you are misaligned is because there is tension throughout your body that is pulling you and holding you in your current position. This position feels totally normal and natural to you because that's all your body knows and experiences, and because your current shape has been molded and set by everything you've done, but also everything you haven't done with your body up until this point. And that's because of a fun fact about the body, all right? Which is that the body adapts to the position you're in the most. You see, the body is very clever and it is driven by a few overriding programs. And one of them is to conserve energy and to make it very easy and do one particular thing. The more the body will adapt to that and make changes so that it's easy and comfortable for us to do the thing over and over again. So I don't know if you've ever broken an arm or know anybody who's broken an arm. After 6 weeks in that cast with the arm stuck in one position, you can't just easily extend the arm all the way out, all right? The tissues in that area have adapted and set the arm in that position. And it's going to take some time and some corrective exercises until you get full range of motion back in the muscles and the joints. Okay, well, there is one position and one particular joint configuration that we have been holding our bodies in for hours and hours and years since we were 6 years old. All right, we have been in this position for so long that our bodies have actually changed and adapted to this repetitive positioning. Can you guess what that is? That position is chair sitting. All right. Not sitting, it's not just sitting, it is chair sitting in particular, all right? Because as modern human beings, we chair sit when we study, when we work, when we drive, when we're on the subway, when we eat, when we relax, when we socialize, when we wait for the airplane, you know, when we wait for the doctor's appointment. And if you add up the number of hours a day that you have chair sat, since you started school, right? Since they said no more circle time, up you get, all right? This was the start of our chair sitting misadventure. That number of hours is staggering. And the reason why it's chair sitting in particular, that's the issue, is because chair sitting sets our skeleton. You can see here, 90 degrees at the hips, 90 degrees at the knees, over and over for years and years and years. And since the body adapts to the position you're in the most, and since we've been in this chair sitting position the most, our muscles and tissue and fascia and joints have all adapted to make chair sitting super comfortable, all right? In fact, we have become ninja chair sitters. We can do it for hours and hours, no problem, except that there is a problem because adaptation has occurred. And because adaptation has occurred, some muscles are tighter, some muscles are weaker, some areas and joints are stickier, and some areas are too mobile. And what this means is that when you get up out of your chair, your bones, your skeleton is not actually lining up well, right? Like this example here at the end, which is normal posture, anatomical neutral. The muscle imbalances and lost range of motion from years of chair sitting mean that your skeleton is now misaligned. And because you are misaligned, in order to be able to still move around in the world, okay, which your body will figure out a way to do, you need to make all sorts of small adjustments and tweaks to accommodate those misalignments. Okay, and we're going to be covering some of them today, for example, like turning your feet out. The point is, while you look straight from a posture perspective, and way, okay, these are just like exaggerated examples. You'll see what I mean when we're doing the posture and alignment grid. But I mean, I was erring towards this bridge arched back kind of alignment for sure, with my ribs lifted. So the point is that while you look straight from a posture perspective, right, from an alignment perspective, from a how your body works perspective, things have shifted and you are now misaligned. And there is a consequence to that, because to quote the name of one of Katie Bowman's books, alignment matters. It matters. So all this to say, before we move more, all right, which is the big message that everybody's shouting at us, our doctors, the magazines, the blogs, everybody's telling us we're sedentary, we need to move more. Correct. But we need to first spend some time getting ourselves properly aligned and moving well. So you can't move well until you start to get into better alignment. And you'll see what I mean when we jump on that, when we do that quiz in a minute. And in fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put the link to the quiz in the chat so that people can pull it up. I'll do that in a minute. Okay. But before we do that, if it's okay with you, I'd like to just show you some examples of some of my Reshape Method clients to get an idea of what it means to be out of alignment and what it means to improve your alignment. So I want to show you what alignment looks like so that you can get this like conception of what is possible, okay, and the kinds of changes that you can make when you spend some time focusing on an alignment-focused approach to getting slimmer, stronger, and pain-free, okay? So this is Pauline. This is Pauline's 12-week transformation. And marked up. I do get my clients to take before and after alignment pics, and these are kept super private and confidential, but Pauline and Veronica gave me permission to share because they were just so blown away with their transformation. You can see how Pauline is taller, she's stronger, her body just looks more youthful, right? She looks so much more vibrant. And I love what she says here, that she's fitter, stronger, and her legs look pretty good, even if she says so herself. And she says that she's been out of alignment and in chronic discomfort, and she didn't know how easy it was to get back to basics and rebuild her body. And this is literally half an hour of super gentle workouts. You don't even break a sweat, okay? There's no cardio involved. And here is Veronica. She's 52. She's a pediatrician in the UK. And she said she was feeling like a saggy old woman. And just look at this incredible transformation. Look at the muscle tone on her arms and her legs, right? And she didn't even get to phase 3 of my program where we start lifting weights. This is just all body weight, right? You can, she didn't even realize that her body was leaning all off to the side here. Like only when I showed her her before and after pics with the biomechanical points lined up, was she was just completely blown away. And she says, even though she didn't lose any weight, she didn't have any weight to lose. Her body looks trimmer, and her husband or daughters are telling her that she looks good, which is always great, right? So just wanted to give you a little bit of an idea of what it means, to work on your alignment. So I hope that helps give people some concept. So now let's look at your alignment. Woohoo! Here is the quiz. All right, we are going to go through the quiz. You can open it up and measure yourself. I'm going to take you through these points and show you how to score yourself. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Are there any questions so far before we go into this? Let's see if anybody has any questions. Let me know. Otherwise, we can start moving into the quiz section. Do you want to just give me a thumbs up if you have a question? Otherwise, we can go to the quiz.
Nope,
All
no
right.
questions.
Awesome. So let's go to the
gallery.
quiz.
We're good.
Okay, so if everybody's got the quiz open, we're going to go through scoring the alignment points. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do it. It may be difficult for you to actually get up and measure yourself now. So don't worry. You'll have the replay of this to do, but showing you how to actually measure those points. Okay, so the first alignment point is the leg. All right, is the angle of the leg to the floor, or what we call a straight leg. So many of us just stand, right? We don't really think, what kind of angle is your leg creating to the floor? Your leg, your femur should be 90 degrees to the ground. That is anatomical neutral, okay? 90 is 90. If you take, it's best to do this in front of a mirror. Don't try and do it like on yourself like this, because that's not going to work. You want to put a yoga strap or a belt or a scarf with a knot tied at the bottom. You want to put that at the top of your leg bone, at the top of your femur. If you kick your leg out to the side, that will really show you where the top of that femur is. And then you want the buckle to just hang. Now, if that buckle hangs kind of towards the front of your ankle, then you score yourself a 2, because that's indicating that your leg is actually diagonal, if it is off 90 degrees. So if you're measuring, I'll show you how to get to 90 degrees. You want to shift your weight back into your heels. You go, 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 go. And then you get to a point where you feel that your toes are actually coming off the floor. You kind of hit this line of tension. Then you add a little bit of a hinge. This is the fix, okay? This is actually part of the solution, is you see over here, my leg is 90 degrees. Can you let me know? Give me a thumbs up if you can see. When I shift my weight back and add a little bit of a hip hinge, now my leg is actually 90 degrees. Thanks, Sheila. I can feel the full weight of my body over my heel bone. All right. I've had to add a little bit of a hip hinge in order to get that, because there's so much tension from all the chair sitting that's stopping me from really getting that 90 degrees. But now when I let my body go back to normal alignment, this looks normal. You wouldn't say there's anything wrong with my alignment or my posture, except now you can see my leg's not 90 degrees, right? Can you see that? Here it's 90, here it's not 90. And that 90 degrees makes a difference, because when we come off that vertical leg, what happens is we tuck our butt underneath us, we shift our weight forward onto the small bones of our feet. And our feet are meant to be as dexterous as our hands. But if all those, 25% of the muscles and bones in your body are from your ankle down. That's a little bit shocking. That kind of gives us the idea of how important this incredible motion and variety and all these almost infinite number of like angles that your foot is meant to make as you walk in order to set up the correct movement all the way up the chain. But your foot can't do that if you're holding the weight of your body, because the leg needs to be 90 degrees with the weight over the heel bone. And now the butt is available for me to use. The brain can find the butt, because good, strong bodies need good, strong butts. But if your alignment is such that your butt is being hidden, you can have a strong butt. You can be doing all the clams and glute bridges in the world, okay? But if your alignment is such that your brain can't find your butt while you're walking, the butt may not as well, and may as well not even be there, okay? Because alignment matters. So that's the first alignment point. If you are on a diagonal, and I'm yet to meet anybody who isn't, you score yourself a 2. If by chance you are on absolute 90 degrees, you don't need to do a hip hinge to get there, then you give yourself a 4 and well done. Part of the reason why most of us are off this 90 degrees is because of the chair sitting that we've done for so long, which kind of shortens our calf muscles and creates all kind of tension in our hip flexors over here. I'm going to give you another corrective now, but also because of the shoes that we wear, all right? We have all been put in some kind of a heel. In order to get this 90-degree line of the leg, you have to have nothing under your foot. And nothing means nothing. It means a 0 drop. If you're wearing any kind of shoe that makes your heel a little bit higher than your toes by any amount, then you are being tipped forward. You're being tipped forward off 90 degrees onto your quads, onto the small bones of your feet. So 3 things that I want you to bear in mind in terms of this vertical alignment point. The first thing is just the shift. All you can think about doing, and you can stand up and try it, is think about shifting your hips back. Just shift your hips back. Just put your hands on the front of your hips here and just shift them back, right, to where you feel like it's all weird. And then just add a mini hip hinge, which means you take your butt back, your head forward just a little bit to bypass all that tension on the front of the body. And then just experience what it feels like for your butt to hold you up and for your quads to relax, okay? So that's part of the fix that you can weave into your day. The other thing I want to show you is a little bit of a corrective that allows you over time, right? Over time and through doing things like the reshape method or working with other people who do something similar to what I do, you're going to find that you're just going to more easily fall into this more vertical leg, which means when you walk, when you do stuff on the mat, your butt's there for your brain to find, which is the win, all right? But you've got to start thinking about your shoes. You've got to, like many people will say to me, oh, but I don't wear heels, okay? We all wear heels unless you are wearing an absolute minimal shoe that has like nothing underneath, you're wearing a heel. I mean, if you just think about the physics of it. If you put even a 1/4 inch block under a bookcase, that bookcase is going to tip forward. So 0 drop is 0 drop, but there's a caveat to that. I don't want anybody throwing away their shoes, okay? You have to do the corrective exercise work and you have to transition down to a 0 drop shoe, because everything about your body for the past 40, 50, 60, 70 years your entire body has adapted to wearing something under your heel. And if you just take your heels away, then there's a high likelihood that you're going to land up with some kind of serious injury. It has to be transitioned. It has to be slow and gentle with a step-by-step method. You've got to do the work and you've got to move down to different kinds of shoes. Even check your running shoe. If you put your hand inside your running shoe, unless you've specifically bought a minimal shoe, even your running shoe has you in a heel where the heel of your foot is higher than your toes. And what that means is that we all have these excessively shortened calves, which are pulling us out of alignment even more. They're setting you in this position where your butt is tucked, your pelvis is tipped forward. So just one little quick corrective exercise that I want to show you. And remember, please do this at your own risk. It's called the calf stretch. Calf, right, as they say in North America, because people are like, what's a calf? So I like to use a half round foam roller if you have one of these. All right. If you don't have one of these, no problem. Let me show you how to do this with a rolled up towel or yoga mat. So you can take a towel or yoga mat, roll it up really, really as firm as you can, as firm and tight as you can. All right. And then what you do is, let me just make sure the mat's working, the mark's okay. You stand towards the edge. You put one foot, I'm putting my left foot towards the right of the rolled up towel. I'm standing hip distance apart, and then I'm just very gently stepping forward with my other leg until you feel a low level stretch down the back of your calf. All right. You don't want to step forward and feel like your body's pulling forward or that the stretch is more than like a level 4 or 5 out of 10. This stretch is amazing. I do it like hundreds of times a day because every time you go and sit back down in the chair again, that calf is being put in a shortened position. So give this calf stretch a try. Let's do it to the other side. I'll show you again. So I'm coming to my little rolled up structure. I'm standing hip distance apart. I'm putting my left foot towards the right, okay? And then I'm toggling with the swing through leg until I've got a low level stretch, but I don't want my body to lurch forward. I still need to be standing tall. And you may find that you've got more range of motion in one side than the other. This is a great corrective exercise, or I call it magic moves, to do at your standing desk. If you happen to have a standing desk, this is an awesome move to do what I was talking about earlier in the presentation, where I talked about movement multitasking, where we're taking all these small little magic moves and layering them onto your day. All right, because we all have these kind of dead times in our day, and if we just knew what exercises to stack in, that's the win, right? Then you don't have to feel
Yes,
guilty
my
about
rebooters are
skipping
very
workouts.
familiar with that. We do motion multitasking as part of functional fitness now in
Fantastic.
Yeah,
I
reader.
love that.
Yeah.
That is so, so important. Amazing. All right. So next alignment point I want to take you through is the rib cage position. Now, this is a little bit of a tricky one. It's really hard to get a real grasp of it if it's not something that you have as an exaggerated alignment point, but I want to show you it anyway. And that is the positioning of the rib cage, because especially if your pelvis is tipped forward a little, if you've got a little bit of this like kind of postpartum alignment, because even if you're like 2 years or 20 years or 30 years, you know, after from having your youngest child and you haven't been properly rehabilitated, you can still actually be stuck in a postpartum alignment position. So many of the women I see, their pelvises are kind of like tipped forward, which makes them feel that they've got like too much rounding in their lower back. And then they'll have somebody say to them, oh, you've got, you know, hyperlordosis. You've got too much rounding in your lower back. You need to tuck your pelvis. So they'll walk around tucking their pelvises underneath, adding tension to tension, which is 100% what we do not want when it comes to alignment work. Adding tension to tension never solved any problem, okay? We've got to create change from the inside out. What's actually happening here is more than the pelvis being tipped forward is that they've taken the rib cage and they've lifted it up, partly because this is a postpartum thing. You know, when you're pregnant, you kind of like lift the rib cage to make room for the baby, but then your ribs never come back down properly afterwards. And another reason why we do this is this posture cue, you know, that our teachers and our gym teachers and that gave us and our mums, which is you're stooped, right? We've all got these rounded shoulders from doing all this for so long out in front of us, and it doesn't look good. It's called hyperkyphosis. It's called too much rounding of the upper spine. We're meant to have rounding of the upper spine, but not too much. So what do we do to fix it? Because it doesn't look good. We lift the rib cage. We lift the rib cage and pull the shoulders back. So now your ribs have actually created, instead of your rib cage just being horizontal to the ground, you've lifted your ribs and now it's up at an angle, and you've created all this shearing through the back, turned off your core, and maybe tipped your ribs relax in. And when I show women how to do this, they're like, oh, but I'm so hunched. Yeah, rather be hunched and know that you have a problem in your upper back and fix that problem, then pretend that you don't have that problem by lifting your rib cage, because lifting your rib cage is going to make this rounding of the upper back even worse. It does not fix the problem. It makes the problem worse. All right. So if your ribs, and I do see many women whose rib cage position is good, if your ribs sit nicely, all right, and you don't feel too rounded, then give yourself a 4. If you've got some lifting through the rib cage, then give yourself a 2. And the last alignment point we're going to look at today is the positioning of the feet. Okay, I'm going to show you how to measure straight feet. I'm going to show you how to measure straight feet, but I don't want you holding a straight foot position, because this can really, really cause injury in your body. But it is very, very revealing about what's going on in the body. So what you do with that is you can take a book, or use, we need a straight line marker. So I'm going to use just the edge of this file, but you can use the edge of a yoga mat or the tile on your floor or wood or something. So what you do is you look for the mound of your pinky toe. So you'll see you've got your pinky toe and then a bit that comes out, right, just towards the edge. So you stand the way you normally stand, take your straight line marker, and you line your straight line marker up with the mound of your pinky toe, right? You don't line it up with the angle of your foot. You line it up with the mound of your pinky toe, and then you kick your ankle out to line up with the straight line that's created by the book, all right? And then you do the same to the other side. Let the book line up with the mound of the pinky toe and then kick your foot out. Now your foot is facing straight forward, which is anatomical neutral. That is how your foot should be. Except what this often reveals is a pulling and like an internal rotation, like you're feeling knock-kneed through your legs, right? So if you straighten your feet and you feel any amount of like tension or knock-kneed position through your feet, you give yourself a 4. If your feet are just naturally straight and feel fine, sorry, you give yourself a 2. If your feet are just straight and everything just feels totally normal, then you give yourself a 4. But most of us have some degree of turnout in our foot. And the reason for that, let me just explain to you very briefly. Imagine that, that this is your pelvis, and this is your femur, that's your leg bone, and this is your foot coming out like that over there. That's normal neutral alignment. That's how the body was designed to work. What happens is that there are muscles over here down the side of the leg called the lateral hip muscles, and they're muscles around where the pelvis meets the leg as well. And those muscles need functional strength in order to hold that femur straight so that the foot comes out straight. But what happens is, because of years of chair sitting and because we aren't doing the movements that our bodies evolved to do every day, like climbing, pulling, you know, all these squatting, we are sedentary. We are living these modern lives. We aren't doing the movement for survival for which our bodies evolved to move. Okay, that's just the way it is. And there's just a consequence to that. And the consequence is that this leg bone, this femur, starts to roll into the midline of the body. It starts to roll in. Obviously, you're not going to walk around the world like this, right? So what we do is we compensate and we turn the feet out. But that does not take away from the fact that there is this very important lack of functional strength down the side of your legs, which these are the muscles that are meant to walk you, all right? They're very, very important. Yes, Sheila?
Have a question. So
Yes.
this lack of alignment and turning our feet out and adjusting for our sedentary lifestyle, does that contribute to all the knee surgeries we see people having? Because a lot of my clients end up having knee surgery, not just because of the weight, but because of the alignment issues.
Absolutely.
That's a big issue for my crew.
It's a big, big issue, because what happens is, because we lack the lateral hip strength, this is where the strength is meant to come to hold you, but walking is a series of single-legged balances. And since most of us can't do this because we lack this hip strength, which is revealed to us when we straighten our legs, when we straighten our feet, it's actually revealed to us how much strength we lack here. So that means something else has to be doing the work to walk you, number one. Number two, because we're out of alignment and we tip forward onto our quads, that's usually our quads that are doing the work. We are all what's called quad dominant. Our quads are doing everything. And the quads are actually meant to be pretty quiet. Quads are for walking uphill and downhill, and that's about it. They should not be doing all the work of taking you upstairs and downstairs and just of like normal walking. That's the work of all these muscles. Down your butt, down the side, all the way down to the foot, except most of us are doing this walk that comes just from our quads. And since the kneecap kind of sits in the tendons of the quads, because our quads are so dominant, because they're pulling those kneecaps up all the time, because they're doing all the work for us, it starts to create all these issues in the knee. The other thing is, because we lack the strength, this knee is coming into the midline of the body instead of having the strength taking it straight. And those are the main alignment causes for knee issues. So yeah, and many people who come into the Reshape method, they can't do anything on their knees. They can't do anything on their knees. So I have really modified the program so that people, because there is quite a lot of hand and knee work, but there is a whole modification for people who can't get on their hands and knees. And I've had people who have literally like had their kneecaps replaced. They've had kneecap surgery. And by the end of the program, they're like, I can't believe it. I'm actually on my knees. I'm on my knees. I never thought it was possible. Because when your alignment is improving, when all the other muscles in your body are working, you don't have all this focus coming down to the knee. The knee is taking so much torque, okay? And that's the important thing I want to say. I'm showing you the straight foot alignment point because I want to reveal to you what the true state of your alignment is. But please do not hold the straight foot alignment point. Whatever you do, do not hold it, because if that's something you can easily do, you have control, you understand what it is to make a straight foot, okay? But if you force the straight foot without doing all the work that has to happen through the entire body, the weakest joint is going to pick up the torque and get injured, and that's going to be your knee. So do not hold the straight foot alignment point. All right, please.
We have a question here.
Yeah.
Caroline asks, how do you realign if you have nerve damage causing both weak quads and hamstrings on one side?
It is through a process. There is like almost 100 corrective exercises because it's whole body. Sorry, who asked the question?
Caroline.
It is a whole body approach. Everything is affecting everything else. So all the workouts, all these series of exercises that I do, it's not a spot treatment. It is an entire, it's a full body approach. That's the only way I can answer it, right? Because you don't even realize how you see, the thing is that we're held together by fascia. Fascia is the new black. It's all about the fascia. The fascia is the connective tissue that runs through our body, and it runs in certain trains and slings. And so instead of working on a more reductionistic approach, which is what our medical system is based on, it's like, you got a knee problem, let's look at the knee. Like, no, I'm looking at your entire body, because everything about your entire body is affecting what's happening at the knee, and the knee is affecting everything that's happening in the entire body.
Yes. And I'm just paying attention to, we're a little bit over on time, but I wanted to make sure that people know who are listening what their takeaway is in terms of what the next step is that they should be doing. They should be taking the quiz, right? The question that you have, the assessment, yes, and joining your perimenopause group, correct? What
Yes.
else would you like them to be doing? Because I want people to be involved with you. I want them to get to know you better and to learn from you what they can, and perhaps, take it to the next step. But what would you like them to be able to do as a step that everyone here could do?
Well, I'd love people to be able to take the quiz and see how it feels in your body. All right. And when you submit that quiz, when you press the button to submit the quiz, if what I've spoken about today is interesting to you and you would like to chat about it further, you'll see a page will come up with an opportunity for you to book an alignment discovery call. So please do book that.
Do that. I cannot
Yes.
emphasize the value that is, that Tracy is giving her time to the Reboot group to have a discussion with you about the results of your alignment quiz.
Mm-hmm.
This is invaluable information, whether you decide to move forward to work with Tracy or not, or join her group and learn more down the road or whatever. Do this time with her. This is a very, very valuable amount of time that she's going to be spending with you, that's going to change your life, especially those of you that I know that have had surgery or looking at possible surgery on your knees or your hips or your back or whatever's going on. I wish I had known Tracy before I had, my 18 spinal surgeries. It's like, well, 12 surgeries, 18 fusions, but it's like, it's just, I keep going back to my ballet posturing, and it's like, that's not helping me. And I'm like, I need to take this quiz. So it's just, please spend that time with Tracy. Her knowledge is so deep and so vast, and she's a wonderful communicator. As you can tell, she takes something very complicated and applies it to you, and you really understand and feel the difference right away. This is not wait down the road 90 weeks and you will feel the difference immediately. So please take her up on this. This is an incredibly generous offer for her to have this. I encourage everyone listening, either in replay or not. Also, I wanted to remind everyone that the questions we've been taking, we've been trying to answer them. If we haven't, we will get to them and get back to them. We're going to reread. I think we've gotten to everything, but we'll make sure. And if you're listening in replay, all you replayers from Reboot TV or wherever you're coming from, go ahead and put your questions below the video, and Tracy is going to be getting to those answers as well. Right, Tracy?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're not lost just because you were doing something during this hour. You can still ask your questions.
Absolutely.
And everybody's different. Everybody's got something different that they have going on in their bodies.
Mm-hmm.
But I encourage you to take her up on this. But is there any last words you'd like to share with everyone?
Yeah, I just want to let everyone know that July is actually the Reshape Method birthday month.
Oh,
and
birthday.
So I'm offering specials, and the structure of the program will be changing on August 1st, where the program is entering year 2. So I do encourage people, if they are at all interested, please reach out to me. And of course, I will be looking after Sheila's Reboot ladies. I have special deals and special prices for you, because I just know that you are all such fabulous, motivated people, and we all just love Sheila to bits.
But well, thank you. But do experience that assessment and talk with her, because feeling it is the power of it. It's like, oh my gosh, this, because when you have surgery on one part, you go to PT, they work on that one part, but they don't take the whole body into consideration. Then you end up having it, over and over again. This problem comes back. So Absolutely. And we have a number of people who've lost way more than 100 pounds, like myself. Carly's outdone me. I think 170 pounds now she's lost. And she's got to learn how to do that. And Irma's had multiple knee surgeries. She's had 3 knee surgeries. And we have Lenora on, who just recently had a knee surgery. And so, like, people are having these things going on. We need to know how to move this new body. And if you've gone through the reboot and you've lost a great deal of weight, your body needs to be readjusted to this new body. If you've had a baby, you need to, anytime in the last 20 or 30 years, just take the assessment, talk to Tracy, you'll feel the difference. Absolutely. So thank you so much, Miss Tracy. Your time, you have been so generous. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here. You're a very special person. You are definitely audacious, and you're audacious aging coach, and you're such a valuable person to know and to have in our lives and our reboot lives. To have a Reshape lady around with us is wonderful. We are going to figure out a way to work together. We are going to figure this out. There's something perfect. So for Reboot TV, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next week on Tuesday Talks Live. Good night, ladies.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.